For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Your home for the Cowboys.
Touch the ball for the touchdown.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the franchise tag deadline came and went, and no new deals for any of the three running backs, including Tony Pollard. As a matter of fact, Tony Pollard's the only one that signed his deal, while the other two, Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley, are expected to hold out. The Spurs made a deal over the weekend, acquiring Suns guard Cam Payne and a second-round pick in exchange for a future second. More coming up on Extra Innings with Pleasure.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That goal is history! A walk-off home run!
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
What's up, Dad? Can't stop me now.
Good evening and welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM. You can also listen online at SA Sports Star or on our YouTube page, also at SA Sports Star. Comment along with the show there. You can also get at us on Twitter and Instagram at SA Sports Star. Follow me at I Am Pledger. Thanks for joining me on today's show. As you heard, franchise deadline has come and gone, and the running back market is simply worse for it. Listen, we didn't expect many deals to get done. We knew kind of the thoughts on Las Vegas and Josh Jacobs when they didn't pick up his fifth-year option. But in terms of Saquon Barkley, that one is different. With Tony Pollard, I see the Cowboys, and I've predicted the Cowboys not giving him his deal, which is fair. They don't want to fall into the same trap that they fell into with Ezekiel Elliott. And to be fair, when Tony Pollard signed his franchise tag as early as he did, there was no reason to get a long-term deal done because Tony Pollard no longer has the leverage of not signing it, sitting out, missing games, et cetera, without excessive heavy fines following it because he is technically under contract now since signing the franchise tag. He is content with earning the $10.1 million and then probably hitting the market next year, being a free agent and taking, my guess is, a deal a little larger than that of Miles Sanders. He'll probably fall into $7 to $8 million range if I'm being honest. That's my prediction of where I think Tony Pollard's deal will eventually end up with someone needing a running back. Josh Jacobs, I understand. He has not been healthy with the Raiders. He's underperformed with the Raiders until this season, a contract year after they declined his fifth-year option, in which he decided to ball out, lead the league in rushing on a bad Raiders team. And now he wants fair market value when this year seems more the outlier year on Josh Jacobs than most seasons he's played in. Saquon Barkley, though, I know he's been injured, but Saquon Barkley feels closer to Christian McCaffrey in the sense that there are just a multitude of ways that he can beat you that are unlike most running backs. You can line him up out wide in the slot. He does so many different things that's the one running back where I thought, all right, that might get a deal done, and his importance to the New York Giants and what they do. I know they drafted Eric Gray out of Oklahoma in like the 6th round. He's not Saquon Barkley. And he won't be Saquon Barkley. just because, yeah, he's a good running back. He's a great runner. And even if he's a great runner, that's one facet of Saquon's game. Saquon, well, which makes him unique in a Christian McCaffrey sense. And I think you have to be multifaceted as a running back today, unless, of course, you're Derrick Henry. But even Derrick Henry, I don't believe right now would be commanding the same kind of money that he's getting currently. We'll see if that holds true with him, especially as his age is advancing. But I just think the market of running back is changing in front of our eyes in terms of, because of how many can come in and fit in as quickly as they do and get where they need to go in terms of learning the system, picking up the offense. It is a ready-made position in a sense, and they can come in, they can translate almost immediately. The toughest thing for them to pick up is the blocking schemes most of the time. And then you plug them in, and a lot of running backs can do a lot of the same things behind a good or great offensive line. There are a few that are exceptional at what they do with second gears, ability to miss tackles, ability to set up blocks, whatever it may be. But unless you can also affect the game in the passing game now, I do believe that money is going to dry up and go away for that position, at least in terms of just the sheer vast number of good running backs that can come into the league and have an effect on the game. We saw it with Kenneth Walker as a rookie. We saw it with Tyler Algier as a rookie. There are certain running backs that have come into this league and had a very immediate effect. And we see it every single year. I mean, we can go down the list of running backs that can come in and get nearly 1,000 yards rushing. And that's great. But the oversaturation of players that can come in and make a difference lead to the devaluation of the position in terms of, I can find another you and pay him less. Why would I pay you to do it when I can just take a stab in the dark and probably stumble upon another one of you? You've got to be dynamic and have a game-changing aspect, I believe, in terms of getting that second contract now. And I believe that's where the running back market has fallen. It's unfortunate. I would like to think that it's better, and I see the calls coming in. I will get to them in the break and come back to you. But look, there is a lot of positions that have been undervalued in the NFL for periods of time. And it's cyclical in a lot of ways. We've seen it, well, the running back, the fullback position has basically gone away, but we've seen the rise and fall, and it's trending upwards again with the safeties, because safeties had to reinvent themselves. They aren't what they were in the 80s, where they were basically an extra linebacker in the secondary that could cover a little. Now they have to be multifaceted and be able to come down and cover as well as support the run and make an impact in the pass rush. And we're seeing that, and safeties are being rewarded because of that. It is an evolution of the game. I think the running back position has to evolve in a sense if they want to see these mega big contracts again, because let's face it, the last two really big ones, even three really big ones, Todd Gurley, Zeke Elliott, Alvin Kamara, and Christian McCaffrey. Todd Gurley is out of the league. Zeke Elliott's not on a team right now, and people have been complaining about the amount of money versus the production for multiple years until they could finally get out from under that deal. So it's been a bullet they've been trying to bite for a few years that they wanted to get out from under. Kamara has been devastated by injuries, and you're starting to wonder if he can live up to the end of that contract or how. I mean, they drafted Kendre Miller to try and supplant Alvin Kamara in New Orleans. And Christian McCaffrey's no longer on the team that he was drafted and signed that contract with. He went to a team because he's dynamic and changes the game as much as he does. Somebody was willing to trade for him, absorb that salary, but the team that did that had two rookie quarterbacks and a quarterback that was paid under market value. Jimmy Garoppolo, who they've now opened up that money, Trey Lance, who was a first-round draft pick, and Brock Purdy, who was actually their starting quarterback on a seventh-round Mr. Irrelevant contract. And you imagine by the time Purdy is healthy, they're going to do everything they can to get out from under Trey Lance's contract and get something in return for it. At least that's what I expect them to do. It's the way the position is trending in the NFL, and I think there are only certain special people that can overcome that. I think Saquon is one of those guys. And as much as he means to that New York Giants offense, I am shocked that they haven't gotten this done. But my guess is they're going to franchise tag him twice and then let him hit the market to where he'll only probably get about a 2-3 year deal by the time he actually finally gets to the market. And I think once you're done with your rookie deal, 2 to 3 year deals is going to be the expectation. You're not going to get the big 5-6 year deals that running backs used to get. They're going to have to get a lot of money guaranteed up front and shorter deals. And it is just the evolution of the position in the NFL, like we've seen with so many other positions in this league. I am James Pledger. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Coming up here in a few minutes, Rudy J from R&R in the Morning is going to join me. We'll talk about this. Tony Pollard not getting his deal. Dak Prescott being put as number 9 in ESPN's top rankings of quarterbacks. Too high, too low, just about right. It feels like there's a hodgepodge between 8 and 12, 13, and Dak you could kind of put him in any one of those positions. And you could have an argument for or against, but they're all about the same guy. Also, I want to talk to him about, it didn't get talked about a lot today, unfortunately, but Cameron Payne being traded from the Phoenix Suns in an obvious salary dump for a future second. So they get Cam Payne in a second for a future second, which allowed the Suns to open up the space to sign Bol on a minimum deal while giving up a few seconds themselves to go to Orlando. The dynamics of the trade were weird, but what I saw when I saw the trade, I was like, there you go. There's your second point guard on the roster. There was one point guard on this roster before that move. His name is Trey Jones, one true, genuine floor general point guard. They now not only have another point guard to add with Trey Jones, I could argue he could start even. And even if he doesn't, he is a valuable piece that came off the bench for a team that went to the finals a few years ago and knows playoffs and building towards getting towards a title. And I think he's a really, really good piece and a great veteran presence on a very, very young Spurs team. I think this is an underrated deal campaign to the San Antonio Spurs. And I really, 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 really like it. He's also a dog. Like he's fiery. He plays with intensity. And I think it brings an added boost to the Spurs locker room as they get set to go into this first season with Victor Wembanyama and a bunch of younger guys. I think he's going to be a really, really good piece that adds a lot more, not just in the stat column, because I think that presence is going to be felt as well, but I think the stuff he'll bring to the locker room will be invaluable to the San Antonio Spurs for the upcoming season. I am James Pledger. You can follow me on Twitter at I am Pledger. Also on Instagram at Threads. You can follow the stars, including TikTok, at SA Sports Star. You can watch along on our YouTube live feed at SA Sports Star. Comment along. We've got phone calls coming in. I'll get to you in just a minute. Plus, Rudy J from R&R in the Morning will be joining me next. Of course, this is Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM and SASportsStar.com.
It's R&R in the Morning.
Tuesday on R&R in the Morning, we're looking for 8 lucky people to join us in a chicken eating contest this Friday.
It's called Refuel. Fuel up on some chicken. Hey, did Pollard sign the franchise deal? And the Wemby effect continues. Where's that new stadium going to be built? We're talking about it. The party starts at 6.
It's your wake-up call. R&R in the Morning, 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
There's a reason Dave Ramsey says a Kinetico is a wise investment for your home.
I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison.
Call us at 656-PURE.
Check them out at KineticoSA.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Valvoline Advanced can help your engine get more miles. Right now, buy a 5-quart jug and get a free STP Extended Life Oil Filter. That's right, free. Get started on your next job today with the parts you need, when you need them, at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
It can happen in an instant. A car accident can change your life forever. From serious injuries to mounting medical bills to battling insurance companies. Accidents make life harder than it should be. If you've been in an accident, George Salinas Injury Lawyers are here for you. They're local, experienced, and ready to fight for results that make a difference. If you've been injured, don't call just any lawyer. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers at 210-225-0909 or visit GeorgeSalinas.com.
George gets justice.
My name is Jessica. Years ago, I was diagnosed with a thyroid condition. I slept all the time, was fatigued, had no energy, and a bad attitude. Now I've lost 50 pounds and I'm still losing. My medications have been scaled back. My emotions are stable and I have lots of energy. People at work say I'm happy, perky, and my husband says he's not walking on eggshells around me any longer. The Institute for Functional Health changed my life.
Call for your complimentary consultation, 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson from R&R in the Morning. Set your alarm and wake up with us. Mornings 6 to 10. Plenty of sports and good fun right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back to Extra Innings with Pleasure, right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, SASportsStar.com. You can always be a part of the conversation on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, on YouTube, all at SA Sports Star, or at me, at I Am Pleasure. You can call in at 656-ESPN, 656-3776, like John did. John, what you got for me today here on Extra Innings?
Yeah, I just want to give you all the credit, man, because I agree with you 100% about the Saquon deal. The one person that really should be upset, pissed off beyond belief should be Daniel Jones, because he already knows he can't carry that team, and that offense all runs through Saquon, and that's what opens it up for Daniel Jones.
Absolutely correct, John. I appreciate it. Thank you for listening. Call in anytime. Appreciate the phone call. The quarterback list has made a lot of rounds, as has the running backs not getting deals, including that of Tony Pollard, and more importantly, Saquon Barkley and his value and what the running back market value is in general. But to talk about it, from R&R in the morning on the Buyers Barricades guest line, Rudy J is joining me. Rudy,
what up, big dog?
How you doing, my guy?
Lovely, man. Couldn't be better, man. How are you?
I'm good. You finally recovered from your birthday?
Not yet. I'll get there. It takes me a little bit longer. You know, I'm older, so it takes me a little bit longer. I think I should be fine by tomorrow. Still a little foggy. But I'm good to go, man.
Well, I could tell you, man, the guys at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar, the Slackadocious location, they took care of you. That place was, if you didn't make it out there, they had all the fixins. They had this giant balloon inflatable that you walk through. Greg let you park up under the tent.
I know.
You have fedoras and real bones on the table. I don't know if anybody ever cracked them out and played them, but you have bones on the tables there.
Did you take your fedora?
I did.
Well, you were supposed to. Frank wanted y'all to take them. He was like, man, tell your people to take those fedoras. Like, so I'm glad you did.
Yeah, I got that black and gray one, and I just managed to wear it out the door and took it home, and probably going to wear it again at some point in the future. It was a good look.
No, definitely a party for the books, man. They rolled out the red carpet. DJ was fire. We had a good time. Appreciate the people over at Slackers.
He is Rudy J.
And everybody that came out.
Well, yeah, man, we had so many listeners come out. It was fantastic to see everybody out on location, having fun with us, having fun with you, because let's face it, that day was all about you, my friend.
It's all about us. We're a team. We got to stick together.
We're a team, but it was your birthday party.
Absolutely, for sure.
Now, we've been talking a lot about the quarterback rankings and also the franchise tag deadline, and the deadline came and went as expected. Tony Pollard did not get a deal, but since he's already signed his franchise tender, he will play the season under the $10.1 million franchise tag this upcoming season. The other two, Josh Jacobs, who led the NFL in rushing, and Saquon Barkley, did not get new deals and have not signed their tenders. And both of their teams are facing holdouts as they run into the season. Now, with Josh Jacobs, I kind of get it. The Raiders made their decision, it felt like last year, when they declined his fifth-year option.
Right.
And he'd been inconsistent and unhealthy for a big portion of his time in Oakland/Las Vegas. So I understand them wanting to at least see more than a 1 year lead the league in rushing kind of in a contract year and get more out of that. But Saquon, despite the injuries, he is the pulse of that Giants offense. And I was saying this a little bit earlier in the show, is the running back market has changed. And it's because of the plethora of backs that can come in ready to contribute. And I think the only way the running back market continues to thrive is with basically players like Saquon, players like Christian McCaffrey. You have to be special, not just running the ball, but out of the backfield, line up in the slot, line up out wide. You have to kind of reinvent the running back position in a sense, the same way the safeties had to reassert their value on the market.
Yeah, I think there's exceptions to the rule. But the problem is, for every exception to the rule, I mean, I'm sure the Saints felt like Kamara was. I feel like Derrick Henry, at the time he got paid, I feel like he was as well. So I don't feel like Josh Jacobs is in that lane of like one of the guys that's an exception to the rule, even though he did lead the league in running. But it kind of feels like Tony Pollard is like going against the union. It feels like the running backs are on strike, and Tony's like, "Nah, I'm gonna go ahead." Like he's a scab, like Saquon and Josh get back in somewhat order. And like again, it's not gonna go back to Ty Gurley and Zeke, but it feels like Jacobs and Saquon are kind of landed on the line for the running backs coming behind them, and Tony Pollard is like, "Nah, man, let me get my $10 million and get out of the way." So I'm sure they're not the biggest fans of Tony Pollard today. When you really break it down, like, dude, let's accomplish something. Because remember, Josh Jacobs said, "Hey, I got to do it for the guys coming after me." You know what I mean? So we'll see. I think he'll fold. I think Saquon. I think I could see Saquon missing games. I have a feeling Josh Jacobs may fold. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. I don't know much about Josh Jacobs, but it kind of feels like Tony Pollard kind of went against the running backs union.
Tony Pollard did feel like he went against the union a little bit, and that I think him signing really hurt his bargaining.
Well, I don't think it hurt his bargaining because I feel like in his eyes, where he comes from, where he was drafted, the role he's been in, I think $10 million is a win for him. I don't think he sees again, Saquon. I mean, yes, I get it. Saquon's like, dude, $10 million, hell no, heck no. You know what I mean? So, but I feel like Tony Pollard is in a whole different mental space as the way he's looking at it versus Josh Jacobs, who was big time coming out of Bama. Saquon big time coming out of Penn State, second, third overall pick or whatever it is. So I feel like Tony Pollard looks at this totally different. Like, dude, $10 million, no state tax, Dallas Cowboy. They let go of Zeke for me. This is a win, and I'm going to be playing in a contract year this year, whereas I probably will get that $17, $18 million next year over 3 years, a la David Montgomery, a la Miles Sanders. If I get that, maybe it won't be from the Cowboys if the Cowboys ever break out from Deuce Vaughn or from Malik Davis. But I'm sure he's going to get that David Montgomery, Miles Sanders type deal from somebody next year. So the $10 million to me in Tony's eyes is a win for him.
$10 million to win for him because no matter what, he is going to maximize his value, whether he gets franchised again or he gets this $10 million now, and then he signs a deal probably what I'm assuming is just over the value of that of Miles Sanders. Well,
yeah,
Miles Sanders at 6'3", I think he gets somewhere around 7'8".
Yeah, that's exactly what it'll be. It'll be right around that same.
But it behooves him to get the 10-1 now before that deal.
Yeah. Get the 10-1 now, then get you another 18 next year. Now you look up, you're almost at $30 million over the next 4 years, which is it's crazy, but it's a win. It's a win for Tony Pollard.
What you got going on tomorrow on R&R in the morning?
We got SEC Media Days. We're gonna be trying to find 8 people for a chicken eating contest.
Yeah,
that should be fun. Yeah, we got to find 8 people that want to compete in a chicken eating contest out this place called Refuel this Friday. So we're gonna try to find 8 people to get along with us there, and also, it's a day that ends in Y, so we'll find a reason to talk about Wemby. JJ Redick has some cool things to say. Barkley has some things to say that we weren't able to get to today because we spent a lot of time talking about the new arena and so on and so forth. So got quite a bit to get to, man. I know it's summer and everybody says it kind of slows down, but it actually hasn't slowed down one bit. So we got a busy day tomorrow.
And football season is just a few weeks away as y'all get set to go to Oxnard. Rudy, I appreciate you taking the time with me this afternoon.
Always, my guy. Have a great show, and I will see you Wednesday.
Yes, sir. That's right. I am filling in for Rob Thompson on Wednesday, so I will be with Rudy J. But I want to thank you for spending time with me here on Extra Innings. Coming up next, we have Rangers-Rays Game 2 right here on your home for the Rangers, San Antonio Sports Star.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
On ESPN Radio and on the ESPN